Information on inflammation. Yes, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things to discuss, and that is something that's pretty much at the underlying issue, okay? It is the base cause of a lot of illnesses that are out there. So, can you tame chronic inflammation? Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes. Inflammation is a part of life, and it can be a really good thing. It helps you heal from colds, illnesses, bumps, cuts, and more. But too much inflammation, such as when it flares up, there is no need for it, is dangerous. Yes, it is, and it can happen to a lot of people, called chronic inflammation. This type of inflammation, let's find a shorter word here, kids, sets the immune system into motion almost constantly. Chronic inflammation is associated with a host of chronic health conditions. As you're going to notice throughout this article, chronic and inflammation is going to be a fairly common occurrence, such as heart disease and type 2 diabetes. But age is also a factor. Chronic low-grade inflammation can occur naturally in some older bodies, particularly if the person is carrying extra fat around the waistline. Yeah, if you're heavier, guess what? Your feet are going to be a little bit more inflamed. Yeah, it happens. Fat cells generate inflammatory compounds, and the more fat you're carrying, the more inflammation a person is likely to experience in their body. Although some amount of age-related inflammation might be inevitable, you can still do many things to keep it under control, okay? Working yourself to a healthy weight can help. Yes. You'd just be amazed at how many little aches and pains and hurts and nicks and little issues you didn't even know you had just disappear, okay? When you just start to lose a little bit of weight, okay? The 5 pounds, 10 pounds, things become a whole heck of a lot easier. Tiny little changes, okay? And that's why I like to do these videos, because not a lot of people watch them, okay? And I'm fine with that. This is evergreen content. It's still going to be good years into the future, okay? So that's awesome. I hope somebody finds it someday. If it's years from now, by the time that I post this, I'll be thankful we all didn't die in some great big heat death wave, and I hope you're all still trying to work on yourself. But what's true now is going to be true in the future as well. Just dropping a few extra unnecessary pounds is going to be life-changing, and that's not an overstatement. One study suggested that losing just 5 to 10% of your total weight, okay? If you're 115 pounds, guess what? Drop 12 pounds. You're going to feel amazing, okay? Just drop a half dozen as well. It doesn't much matter. Something like that. It's easy to do. Just try it. Okay? What do you got to lose other than some extra weight? Haha. Can lead to a significant drop in inflammatory hormones. Assessing your diet can also help reduce inflammation. Yes, okay, this is just going to be boilerplate advice, but we'll talk about it more in future videos as well. Try to remove just dairy, specifically lactose, okay? Just try to remove that. And then also gluten as well, okay? That was a very popular talking point a few years ago. It's like, oh, everybody has a gluten allergy. Well, gluten's not something natural, okay, to your body, something that we haven't become evolutionary accustomed to dealing with in the human body, so it creates so much inflammation and so many disruptive processes in your digestive tracts, okay? And alongside that, prioritizing colorful fruits and vegetables, limiting processed foods and sugary sodas, and also you should be a little bit more specific on what types of fruits, okay? You should probably be looking at things like berries and melons. Those are normally the most nutrient dense and lowest in fructose, so always just, keep mind of that, because the reason that you'd want to cut out sugary sodas, mostly because it's just chemicals and garbage, is because if you're in the United States, high fructose corn syrup, that exact same concentrated compound is in all your fruits as well. So you need to modulate both of those for very important reasons, and there's no reason to be drinking soda to begin with, okay? It's terrible. There's no benefits to be gained from it. And including more fish into your diet can help with inflammation reduction. Yes, because of the inclusion of omega-3 in order to balance out the amounts of omega-6s that a normal standard diet just naturally comes across. Activity can also help lower inflammation. Yeah, you don't have to look like this goof here. Power walking is not something that you need to be doing, but just moving a little bit, okay? Just getting the processes started, just getting the fluids moving. that helps as well. That opens up the pathways for your blood to be flowing, for your lymphatic fluids to be going as well, to be churning out that lactic acid, okay? Because the days after you exercise, you do some heavy weight training and stuff, and your arms feel heavy, okay, or you're experiencing extreme soreness, that's a buildup of lactic acid. And the only way to get rid of that is to re-engage those muscles and to start cleaning out those processes as well. One study shows that as little as 20 minutes of fast walking can be enough to lower inflammatory markers in the body. Yeah, we talked about that not that long ago. I think that's the one with the treadmills in the thumbnail. Okay, just try to get your heart rate into the triple digits, sorry, for like 20 minutes a day. It's not that hard, okay? And the benefits are tremendous. And it can be enough to lower inflammatory markers in the body. Virtually any type of movement will work, but as long as it is at least 30 minutes a day, 5 days per week is even better. Yeah, okay. There comes a point where you hit a law of diminishing returns, obviously, but if you can't carve out 20, 30 minutes a day, 4, 5, 6 days a week, you're just lying to yourself. Stress management, and good sleep can keep inflammation under control as well. Stress and inconsistent sleep are both associated with higher levels of inflammatory hormones. Yes, more specifically cortisol, and how that helps store anything that your body may be digesting or processing at the time, because if you're in a state of stress at the moment, your body wants to hang on to anything that it can get its hands on in case you find yourself in that situation again. It's going to have the fuel that it needs in order to properly provide for the moment. Another reason we talk about sleep a lot, so mind your hours. Techniques to manage stress include mindfulness, meditation, exercise, yoga, or hobbies such as knitting, gardening, crafting, reading, listening to music, just being alone for a moment, okay, just turning everything off and then just chilling for a second. How about that? Gratitude is a great antidote to stress. Yeah, something you should be practicing every single day and every single interaction. So it's worth reflecting on what's right in your life to counter stress-inducing thoughts about problems. You can work on sleep by getting consistent sleep and waking times, avoiding eating too close to bedtime, 2 hours before bed, limiting evening alcohol, just don't, and making your bedroom a relaxing place. It all seems like pretty bog standard stuff, but when you start to work on your life and when you start to try to make just little improvements here and there, you're going to start seeing these same sort of benefits pop up, okay? So when you start looking after yourself, you start to realize that there are just a few things that really cause all of the problems in life. And when you start making yourself better, eventually you get to the point where it's just really obvious as to what the big problems, or rather the underlying problems in life really are. And with that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.